20 years ago, in a little movie called The Devil Wears Prada, Miranda Priestly schooled us all on the high fashion origins of the cerulean sweater.
You're wearing a sweater that was selected for you by the people in this room from a pile of stuff.
Based on the book by the same name, The Devil Wears Prada, it follows a college grad hired to be the assistant of a fashion magazine's editor-in-chief. Now, the Runway magazine crew is back for one of the most anticipated sequels of the year. Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci are all returning for The Devil Wears Prada 2. And someone you may know may be making a cameo as well.
By the way, you know how that movie's gonna be good? You know how I can tell? JBH is in it.
Oh.
I don't know that you were supposed to drop that bomb, but if you're
Wow.
For a recent interview on Today, I sat down with the Prada 4 about the movie's lasting legacy, what to expect from the sequel, and why now feels like the perfect time to return to this unforgettable world. I hope you'll enjoy this special extended cut of our conversation. I'm Jenna Bush Hager, and this is Open Book. That's all. You guys, this movie, I mean, people are so hungry for it. There's like this insatiable hunger, so much so that the trailer broke a trailer record, which I didn't even think was possible. Like, did y'all know that was a thing?
No.
No.
I don't sit around every morning like, what's the trailer record?
But when you saw that, like, what does that speak to, do you think, Stanley?
I think that people are hungry for it. It's been 20 years. It's arguably, it has become a classic film. And it endures, and people seem to have not been able to get enough of us. So here we are.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We've
yeah.
had
Jury's
enough
out.
of us.
I've had enough of all of you.
What type of pressure does that add that people cannot wait for this film to come out? Meryl?
Well, Anna and I have just been in Mexico City, Tokyo, Seoul, and Shanghai. Wow. Talking to hundreds of mostly young women, but some men, journalists, and it's just, I am stunned by the sort of appetite and the anticipation and how much the first one meant to people that were very young when they first saw it. Everybody has their origin story when they saw it with their mom, and it's very gratifying, but it's also kind of mystifying. I mean, to me, because seeing it from my point of view, I'm so mean. And I wonder why they're so affectionate to me, you know what I mean? It's mystifying. I mean, I know why they love the Cinderella of it all. And then Cinderella who throws the phone away and says, you know, no, not everybody wants to be like you, Miranda. And that's, so the anticipation is, where did Annie go? What did she do? What'd she do with her life? And I think that's a little bit of young women who saw it and think, yeah, I've moved on. I've done stuff. What's happening? And it was also fun. Yeah. It was just...
In a way, I mean, there's always pressure when you make a movie. You know, there's a lot going on. So I think we all were expecting that. But because the screenplay was so amazing and Aline cracked it, and she found a reason why we should make it beyond just nostalgia, beyond just giving people what they want. She found something new and more to say with these characters. And so I felt like that actually took a lot of the pressure off. Then it was just back to what we do every time, which is just try to make, try to make a great script, you know, better,
Well, it has been 2 decades. What was it like to reunite? I know that this was
I see her all the
it's a family reunion,
So,
but it wasn't 2 decades ago.
I only see him in his slippers most of the time, so.
Y'all are related.
We are so related.
We're over-related.
Was it nice to be back on set and be all together?
Yeah, it was incredible and surreal. You know, I think this film certainly changed my life in a huge way. And it was touching and moving and weird to be back together. And it feels like 20 years is a long time. Obviously, a lot has happened in 20 years. We've had kids. He married my sister. But then I think...
We got married.
You guys got married.
In a movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know, it feels like
Didn't
20
last.
years and it feels like a blink. It sort of feels, I mean, I have such a sensory lasting memory of the first one. I mean, this one like whipped me around New York when I knew no one and knew nothing about being on a film set.
It was a real chore. You
Yeah,
were
it
such a stick
was.
in the mud.
Oh, dull.
Only you were delightful.
I think what's incredible is that everybody will have that experience of 2 decades passing. And also, the world has changed significantly. Like, for one, technology has become something we're so reliant on. Does that come to play? I mean, I've seen the film.
Yeah.
We won't give anything away, but does that come to play?
Yeah, of course it does, because journalism has changed. Magazines have changed distinctly. Most of them only exist online. We used to have all these sort of big, thick things that we would buy in airports and carry around and whatever, and you'd pass the time watching those and keep, yeah. And now it's like, you don't. But, you know, that AI and technology has changed not just the physical thing, but journalism itself, which is how, obviously, the movie starts.
Yeah, the
And
threat
then
to
it
journalism.
goes from there.
has changed. The threat.
The
to
threat of,
journalism
yes,
has
exactly.
changed.
Yeah.
It's not just the digitalization or
Yeah.
the atomization of it,
Yeah,
but it's also, you know, threatened for reasons of free speech. You know, people are just, that all is up in the air. So much is uncertain.
yeah.
And that landscape is why it's really kind of fun to revisit these characters destabilized, because everybody in their lives had to kind of surf the new reality and figure out how to survive, how to keep their scruples intact, how to keep their conscience awake and alive. And you know, everybody does it in a different way, and there are lots of compromises people make, and yet together it's kind of triumphant in the end.
Yeah.
Thanks to a woman with a lot.
Yeah, don't say that. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Don't
Take that
listen to
out.
me. Lock up.
You did do something just recently that made history, which is you had Anna Wintour, the real Miranda Priestly. You got her, she said, to pose on the cover of Vogue, which she had never done.
No, I know.
Don't you love that? What was that like?
Well, it was easy for me to say no. I love saying no. And she said, "Do you want to be on the cover of Vogue?" And I said, "No." And I said, "Well, I'll do it if you do it." And she said, "Oh, well, no." And so then we just talked about it and thought, yeah, let's screw around with this idea. And it was fun.
It was really fun.
She's such a good sport. I mean, honestly, the first one was obviously based on a novel written by a person who had worked for her. But I didn't want Miranda to be modeled on Anna. I didn't know her at all. And the only bosses I'd had were men, so I copied their leadership style, you know, not hers. But as I got to know her in the interim, she's pretty fabulous.
Absolutely.
And what she has done, you know, she's exactly my age at 76. She's running all of Condé Nast content around the world. And that's the New Yorker, that's the Traveler, that's GQ, I think, and everything else.
Huge.
Yeah, amazing.
Huge.
And all of the Vogues all over the world. So,
Well, and it came out, y'all are, speaking of being related, y'all are like fifth cousins or something. Did you see that?
Did you hear that?
Ancestry.com.
Yes.
Wait, who
we
is?
have 6.
Meryl and Anna.
No, you're not.
6 cousins.
That's fantastic.
Handle that. If only I'd known, maybe I would have copied her.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
Maybe she's copying me.
So where's that on your phone?
Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We are old English. The Wilkinsons, my mother's side.
Mother's side.
Wow.
That's pretty wild.
It's pretty funny.
So how have you, whatever you can say, how would you say each of your characters have changed in the last 20 years?
I think that no, I couldn't remember his name all the time.
You've only said it
There's one.
1,000 times.
There's one thing.
So,
Nigel Kipling.
I know someone called me Virgil, which is why I didn't say anything. Yeah. I think he's still He's very passionate about what he does. He absolutely adores her. And obviously, though I won't give it away, continues to adore her. You little... But he still wants this thing to last. He wants it to be a thing of substance. And but I think he's, at this point, he can sort of see where things are headed, even though he'll do everything he can to stop them. And he's just weary. He's a little weary. And he doesn't, as we were saying before, he'll pick his, you pick your battles at the age of 65.
Yeah. He actually, has stayed somewhat steady. Would you say that?
Very, very steady.
Yes.
The
He's the
complete
one
opposite
Right?
of me.
I can count on. Always, always, always.
Yeah. He's the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emily, what about your character? And I have seen it, and it was a wild
I
transformation.
find her very steady as a person. No, it's very fun to play the unhinged person. I don't know that
How did you do it?
I do it.
It's amazing.
Clawing my way towards that quality.
Stretch.
I do. I think to play someone who is in a constant state of outrage about air, is great and really, really fun. I'm not sure that she's softened with time. I think the quest for success is ever tasty for her, and to no end, or to we won't spoil it.
No.
Yeah.
There will be some sort of undoing that has to happen for all of them. But I adore playing her. I think that she's a complete lunatic, clearly, but I find her sort of delicious and fun, and I don't know, I think it's like now she's sort of even more insane because she has power.
That can happen.
That can happen.
Who have you seen?
And what about stepping back into Andy's shoes?
So one of the first things that Aline, the descriptor that she had of Andy, was 20 years has not done anything to dim her heart or smarts.
Yeah, I loved that. I remember that.
And I loved that. And so it became, a conversation between Aline, David, and myself about the subtle ways that she's changed. And we couldn't rely on her being quite so wide-eyed this time. She's not, and yet she's not become cynical, which is one of my favorite things about her. She really sees the best in situations, the best in people. I think that she's lived a life thus far that actually she's really loved. I think she made a choice. She knew it was the right choice for her. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't delivered some of the material success that maybe other people her age has, but she's had a blast being herself. And now she's looking for something else. I think she's looking for some stability, and that's when the question of, what happens when growing up and compromise kind of start to resemble each other.
Meryl, this is both the first film and this one are such a conversation on female ambition and power. Leadership styles for most have changed in the last 20 years. Does the film take that into account?
Leadership styles, you mean in terms of what's allowed and
Yes.
what's not enough?
Yes.
Yes, we address that in the film in a very, Aline is pretty funny about that. And I've hired an in-house policewoman to be my new Emily. And so she's standing by to shoot me every time I do something wrong, but I don't know. I do think, I've said this before, but I think that, if Miranda Priestly in the first one had been, Michael Priestly, and she'd said, get me a coffee, nobody would blend. There'd be no movie, because basically you can issue a direct order as a man, and it's not taken as a by everybody,
There's real truth to that. Yeah. I read that you, in the first film, you method acted, if that's the way you say it.
Yeah.
So you were Miranda. Did you take that home too? Were you like, enough? Or just on set? Because I'm thinking about trying that with my husband tonight and see how that goes down. No, it doesn't work.
Clearly. No, do you have, in the first one, I had an idea that I would be playing with some fabulous people. I love Stanley, and we had played a lot of charades together at various parties.
Yes, we have. That's right. Yeah.
Always be the captains of rival teams.
Yes.
Try not to get Robert De Niro on our team.
Yeah,
because he's
yeah.
the worst.
He's very.
Oh, but I bet it's so heartwarming.
He's very shy. Yeah.
Very shy, and he's just not good at it. He goes,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh God.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
anyway,
Yeah.
so we had worked together in that way.
Right.
But I was excited just to do it the first time, and I couldn't hang out with them because I did in the beginning, and when I did it, and then we'd walk onto the set, and I'd try to sort of command the molecules in the room. It just kind of didn't work, and I'm not a method person.
Yeah.
But I knew that I couldn't just slob around and relax and have fun with these people.
Mm-hmm.
I had to separate myself out, and I did, and it did do something.
Mm-hmm.
It did do something. It was weird, and I don't like it, but it did. And this one, I think, Miranda's more discombobulated. Everybody is by life as we enter this film, and so I could join in.
You
and
got
I
to
was
hang.
more, yeah. I know.
Were you thrilled to get to be part of?
Did we thrill you?
I was thrilled. They were not, I don't know.
Yeah, we kept trying.
Hi, everybody.
It was sort of like, oh,
Like, oh God.
she's back.
I love that. New York is such a character in the first
Yeah.
and in this film. You guys got to shoot. I mean, I watched it with Savannah and Hoda yesterday, and which was so lovely.
Yeah.
And we kept saying, like, that's right down the street from our office. Or there's like the restaurant. Savannah and I were next door neighbors right down the street here for 14 years.
Oh my God.
Oh my
And
God.
so, like that, it's such a
right.
love letter
That's
to the
right.
city that we all love so much. Was it fun to shoot on the streets?
Yeah, I mean,
And wild.
Well, the first thing that I'm thinking about when you're saying that is at the interview before this, when we were leaving, this lovely young woman who was on the crew said, "I live on Rivington and Orchard," which is right next to where Andy. So she's like, "I walk your walk every single day from the first film." And you know, one of the things that's beautiful about life, but in particularly beautiful about the city, is you just make up your stories, and the stories become the memories that you live with. And I once heard somebody say that every time he came to New York, he was always running into the ghosts of himself. And the city has that kind of magic. It's just so beautiful. The light's so amazing. As you can tell, I love living here. And so, and there were moments on this one, like the first day when we were outside Elias Clark, when it did that thing where time bent. And suddenly it was 20 years ago, but it was now. And it was just this beautiful, magical feeling. And then regarding what it was like to shoot on the streets this time, you know, it was happening. It was happening. There were a lot of people. It was cool to know that people cared. And I think once we all learned how to surf that, it was amazing. It was amazing knowing that people were enjoying themselves. The world's so chaotic. There's so many crazy things going on. It was honest to God a joy to go there and like hear people scream and just feel great about something. That was lovely.
Yeah.
Any of you have anything else to say about New
I
York?
think it was a nightmare.
I'm with you.
I love you.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to lie.
No,
It was hard.
It was really-
but it was
Yeah.
only 6
It was
weeks.
distracting. It was hard.
No,
It
yeah,
was
I
hard
think-
to stay
yes.
focused.
It was.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember anything
I
else
think
to
that it's really nice when people are excited, like Annie says, and they're cheering for you and all that. It makes you feel good. I think that the difficulty is that the boundaries, there are no boundaries anymore. And the thing that has changed that is your telephone, or really your camera, right? And social media. So everybody wants to be a part of all of it, and there are no lines anymore. I mean, then a lot of people were not respecting the fact that we were working, like we're doing our job.
Yeah.
We're doing our job, and there's of no consequence to them. So
very clear
not
as
everybody,
well. Like-
but
So
I found the crowds were really lovely. I found some of the paparazzi
Yeah,
were the ones that
that's-
were
That
that
was
were that
fun.
created
That
a
was
problem
fun.
for me.
Yeah.
That was
What were you going to say?
It was just very distinctive though, because I live in New York. Annie lives in New York. You're in New York a lot.
Yeah.
You used to be in New York.
Mm.
We don't get this reception when we're taking the kids to school. It's
But thank
very
God-
clear.
but
It is
thank
not
goodness.
about us. It's about them.
Yes.
It was very clear.
Yeah.
Did you, I mean, 20 years ago when this film came out, it was this sort of cultural lightning rod. Did you know it would be? Like when you're stepping into something that has this kind of
I didn't know
power.
anything. I didn't know
No.
anything. back then.
No.
Truly, it was like my second film, and we were babies.
I knew it was going to be a hit. I knew it was going to be a hit. It's the first time in my entire life when they called me up and said, and I read the script. The script was great. I thought, it's a great script. It's great. And they called me up and they made an offer. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it.
Why?
Because I wanted to see. I wanted to see. I knew it was going to be a hit. And I wanted to see if I doubled my ask.
Wow.
And they went right away and said, sure. And I thought, I'm 56 years. It took me this long to understand that I could do that.
That you can ask for what you want.
Yes. You know?
How wild that
I know.
life
But it's
imitated
because
art.
I was sure of it. I was sure it would be a hit. And they needed me. Yeah. I felt, you know? And I wanted it. But, you know, if they didn't want to do that, I was okay because I'm old. I'm ready to 56. I was ready to retire.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, but you know, that was a lesson. That was a great way to start. So I was in a good mood actually when we began.
I mean, that's such a lesson in sort of knowing your worth.
Well, and also what are used to be called chick flicks, you know,
Yes.
dismissively. They had to scramble for their budget, you know, and the same year there were so many, I can't tell you, dystopian kind of those movies with lots of special effects, and they don't have any problem throwing money at it. But we had to really scramble.
Yeah.
We really had to scramble, and it turned out great. And then they wanted a sequel. They wanted a sequel in 2009. So this is 2006 we made it?
Yes.
Yeah, they started talking about a sequel, but we all waited till we had that good
Is that
good
what
idea.
what were you waiting on? The script?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all had to do it as well. I think you got to have all four of us come back. But
Yeah.
there were mutterings and kind of rumblings for years.
For years.
Yeah, over the years, yeah.
Lots of ideas.
Yeah.
But it's almost like the world had to shift in that way for Aline, who wrote the original, to get a new idea that made sense. That what would happen if these people had to confront what's going on, you know, in the world of journalism and publishing and politics, everything, movies, everything has kind of flipped, and that's cool. That had a story embedded in it.
I like that it's 20 years later and
Yeah, I do too.
the world has changed so distinctly, and it just gives it all more gravitas, I think,
And meaning.
than had we done it, you know, right off the heels of the other one, you know, on the heels of the other one.
Well, I am in this film.
Yes.
Y'all, I wasn't with you two. I told you the other
Tried to
when I saw
steal
you.
my scene. I think I didn't
They
notice.
said I had just arrived, and they were like, Jenna, and I'm like, who? Me? Meryl? And I'm like, wait, what? Because there was no script.
No, there's no script.
But you know, I was prepared to be cut because I have friends. Willie Geist was completely cut out of Kung Fu Panda.
I like that better.
Kung Fu Panda 4.
Revising the franchise.
Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu. He was completely cut, so he was like, Jenna.
has a brother called
But he's not you.
He's not me. Well, yeah, and you know, he was a
It's
cartoon
talent.
character.
But also that feeling of being cut out of something. Welcome to acting. You do everything. You pour your heart and your soul
Yeah.
into it, and then you walk away. You go, I hope I'm in it.
I have to say, when they called, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, me? And it was the fact that y'all welcomed me so lovingly.
But that was such a great party, that group of people that they put together.
I've become
know,
friends with Molly Jong Fast, Kara Swisher.
Oh,
I mean,
love-
all of these
love them.
people that I've.
Gia Tolentino, I had
Yes,
a great talk with
yes.
her. I would never have had a talk with her if we hadn't had that party. I thank David Frankel. We've met so many fascinating people.
It
at that
was
thing.
really fun.
Yeah.
Tina Brown.
Tina Brown.
John Batiste.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, wasn't it a dream? Where were
He's
y'all?
incredible.
Where were y'all? Y'all couldn't show up?
I didn't
No.
make the. I didn't make the cut.
We were
Unsurprisingly.
We weren't invited to that party.
Why weren't you invited?
I missed it.
Did you not have a little totem set?
I don't know.
Exactly. Exactly.
One of my favorite things about the crowd was that, like, in between shots when we were all hanging out in the downstairs, like, kind of basement green room,
Yeah.
everybody just wanted to talk about their dogs.
Oh, totally.
That was it. Like, these fascinating, brilliant people. Everyone just had their phones out, and we were all talking about our dogs. People were trying to get each other rescue dogs. It was just, that was the thing. That was the connective tissue.
And I'm a cat person, so nobody really brought up dogs to me. What is the line that people ask you most or come up on the street and say from the first film? I mean, I know yours.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Gird your loins.
All right, everyone, gird your loins.
Now I'll tell you the line. But that was David. That was David who came up with that line. We had lots of different
that was great.
ones, which is on the blooper reel.
Yeah.
But David's the one who came up with that line.
Savannah and I were actually, Savannah was your character for Halloween, and I was Anna Wintour.
Oh my God.
And our friend who's a
Fun.
comedian, Matt Rogers, was you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And
Good.
he said that on live television.
Oh, that's.
Love it.
What about yours?
The stomach flu one.
Yeah.
Is weekly. Will be quoted to me, but usually they kind of get it wrong. You know, when it gets misquoted to you, and you're like, no, for sure, yeah, I know what you mean. You know, it's that one, and then I'm hearing this, and I want to hear this. People
Yeah.
like that too.
I love
I like that.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
I can't wear boots in public because if I do, people come up and they're like, "Are you
those
wearing?"
the-
Yeah.
well, and also we were saying, I mean, I wore this color, and I'm like, is it overkill?
Yes.
Cerulean.
Never.
I'm not sure you can overkill something in 2026. You just have fun. And then a lot of people ask me if I can spell Gabbana.
Yes.
What about yours?
That's all. That's all.
Yes.
That's okay.
That's all.
That's
It's
all.
a perfect way to end. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Jenna.
you. It's so good to
Jenna.
see you.
Good to see you and welcome to the cast.
Oh, thank you for including me.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.